me ask you, so who are you?
I'm Kenny. All right.
Okay.
So my name is John. Ayode is my surname, and this is my wife.
Yeah, your wife.
And friend.
I'm friend. My name is Kehinde Ayode. You know, I used to be Kehinde Iyeri, and all of a sudden I became Kehinde Ayode. So, you know.
I keep wondering why they have to change their surname.
You know, few days after I'm married, and somebody addressed me as Mrs. Ayode. They were calling me Mrs. Ayode. I didn't respond because I was not used to that name. You know, all of a sudden my identity just changed, you know.
That's married.
Yeah, so this is Mr. and Mrs. Ayode. Yeah, so I think that's all about us for now.
For now?
Yeah. Ew.
How did we meet?
How did we meet? You want to go first?
We met at University of Ibadan.
Yes, University of Ibadan.
24 years ago.
Yes.
1999.
Oh my God.
That is the prelim science student family.
Yeah,
yes.
It's the first year, a precious fellowship, Christian fellowship. Yeah.
400 level student.
I can't believe that I've met you. That
yeah,
we met 24 years ago.
Yes, I remember vividly. It was at Chapel of Chapel of Resurrection.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
True.
We had a staircase there.
Okay.
And the set before.
Yeah. The executive before.
The executive before, yeah.
Of the fellowship.
Of the fellowship gathered the freshmen.
Okay, the freshmen. Yeah.
Yes, the new executive to be. And we are all about 40 number or so.
Yes.
About 14 number.
14 number.
14 number.
Okay. Yeah.
Both central and general executives. And we introduced to one another. We met, so it was about 40 people meeting each other.
Yeah, I think that was the first time I met you.
That was the first time.
But nothing happened then. We were just very good friends, okay?
Yeah.
We were teenagers then.
I think that was where we had the opportunity to first serve together.
Yeah, we served together, Yeah, we served together, and that was 24 years ago.
24 years ago, yeah. I served as the general secretary, and you served as
I was in the welfare.
Yes.
Assistant in the welfare. Yeah, we're just very good friends, and we had a couple of very wonderful people. Some of them we are still friends.
Today, some of them are still friends. Some married as well, like we did.
Yeah. But we didn't start out, just dating. We were just very good friends. I think we met like 4 years, and before we started dating, so we had like a 5-year distance courtship, so to say, before we now, got married. So I've known you for 24 years, and we've been married.
You're a teenager then.
You're a teenager too. He was a teenager. You don't want to see his pictures there. So we met in the fellowship, and we met, doing God's work together, and we grew to really, respect one another, and we were very good friends. And I think the friendship just
it grew. It wasn't something that just happened. We didn't meet with the intention of we want to date or get married. That was not the view. It was just quite a lot of us. We were just all out, loving God, serving, being a blessing to one another. So more or less like a group of students who have something in common.
Yeah, they had something in common. Yeah.
We're all science students, eventually going for different courses at student level.
At that time, if somebody had told me that I would end up being with you, then I would have said it's a lie, because it was not even,
I remember vividly then, the discussion was not about getting married.
Yeah, no.
It was not.
It was not. Yeah, we're just having fun, enjoying God's presence, praying, talking about about our future plans, passionate about God, and
what course you still going to study. Some of us, because we were still first year science students, some of the students had the intention of crossing over to study medicine. Some were going for pure science. Some were going for social sciences. All sorts. So the future was still looking so big for quite a number of us. So marriage was the least thing on our mind.
Yeah, even going into a romantic relationship was not it for us. I think it was more of the friendship and the fellowshipping. Yeah. So that's how we met.
That's how we met.
I think I can. Okay. So like we said that we were very good friends, and we were friends. I was friends with a lot of other males, brothers in the Lord. Why are you? I was a fine girl now. What do you expect?
Brothers.
So it was more like a girlfriend to me.
Can you imagine? Can you just imagine?
It was like those kind of friends that are males, but they are like girlfriends.
Oh, God.
So you gist with them about other guys. It was that kind of person. So I didn't see it coming. So it was that kind of person I would go and say, can you imagine? This person was proposing to me. This person was asking me how. What nonsense? That kind of thing. And it would be very, patient. He would listen to all my gist. I had some academic challenge at that time as well. And he would listen. He would pray with me. So he was somebody I felt very comfortable with. Somebody I could tell issues with without, trying to form or, it was more like a friend. So I guess with time, the friendship became more intense. And at that time, he would come to my place. That's where I was with my parents. And the visit became much after a while. That everybody, even the cockroach in our house knew him that John was coming.
Let me come in there. After the first year.
After the first year.
We had the longer session break.
Okay.
So in the course of that long session break,
university lecturers were going on strike. Yeah.
So we had a long, protracted holiday. Yeah. So in the course of holiday, I think, I remember vividly when we met then. As the executives.
Yeah.
We got to realize that we live close by. Back home in Lagos.
In Lagos, yeah.
Yeah. So eventually, when the long session break came, I came.
It was easy for you to just stop by because he was living around.
Just a couple of hostels away from my house. So just come in.
And we were gist from morning to not just with me, with my twin, with my cousins.
I became friends with our twin, with our cousins, or anybody that come around.
Yeah.
It's just like an extension of the fellowship.
So sometimes we would gist from morning to afternoon, and we would end up praying together, everybody. So it was more like,
good time.
But it came a time when my brothers and my dad started teasing me with him. I was like, I never saw it. I was like, why are they teasing me with him? And you have to be very careful around your friends. You need to make sure that you're around good friends. I was blessed to have good friends around me. So one of them told me that this guy is always coming around. Are you sure he doesn't have any intention? I was like, no, he doesn't have any intention. He's just my friend, and we are just gisting. And we're just talking. He's a good friend. We hang out and all that. Like, let us start to pray about this thing. And of course, because we were passionate about God, having God and putting Him first was priority for me in everything. So I had to start to talk to God about it, and it became more and more serious. It became more and more serious, and I think at that time I started tripping.
And for me, at that point, when you keep coming to a place where you felt so much like home, home away from home. So I remember even after the session break was over, I still kept coming, even when you were not around.
So you had no intention when you were just coming?
At first, when you feel so much at home, that was how it was. Eventually, when those ideas were coming.
Oh, the ideas started coming.
Yeah, of course, you're praying about it too, looking at it, and little by little, and it's becoming a close friend. I had that mindset then, and with the little knowledge I know, that it's good you marry from the circle of your friends. And I'm happy she fell into the circle of friends, close friends to be precise. Then I think she moved from like 10 straight down to number 3, and it was growing gradually. Well, it's just when the visits, the frequent visits started turning so intense. Frequent visits was, already coming to the house then was home away from home, and started nursing ideas in my mind, and that is how casual friend became close friends. and it became so intense from there. The idea of it wouldn't be bad after all to get married to your close friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't pray about it; it just happened.
Of course, I did. It's part of it.
Because at that time I had people also coming around, and I had very frightful proposals like somebody saying, "God said you are my wife," and I will tell you, and you will laugh. And
funny enough, I've never moved with all those sayings. Because see, the point is, even if God was telling you to do something, but there are still human there that you need to relate with.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but I think it's still valued today.
At that time, I wasn't even prepared for a relationship or a courtship. I wasn't, because I was more focused on my academics then. I was in medical school, so finishing my medical my studies were more important. I know because we were raised in a very conservative setup background, Christian background, and we used to attend the Koya's program together then, and she was always talking to us about intentional dating with the purpose, stuff like that. So an average person who would listen to Bimbo Odukoya at that time will know that you can't afford to just date anyhow.
Yeah.
Then so I had all that at the back of my mind, and he also was aware, because we were things we would talk about normally. Why would you just date just for dating sake? And so at the time we felt that the friendship became more closer. Of course, the emotions came in, the feelings came in, but we've been praying about it, just like you would pray about every other thing. I don't believe that when it comes to marriage, it has to be some secluded, special prayer. It's a flow.
It's just like every other prayer you pray. God is not going to answer you different.
Yeah,
But the other part that is key is that you also get to understand, know each other, know the different aspect of our lives.
Yeah.
It's not just all spiritual. We grew up as friends, then become close friends, And that's we not the idea. I not the idea. I liked it. I prayed about it. I have the release plan.
Yes.
I shot. So I think the first important thing is before you can get the Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, you need to work on yourself to be the right person, and working on yourself to be the right person, like I say that the author of marriage itself is God. It has to start with God, and if you're going to start with God, it means your own relationship with God is key. So once you can find a way to establish a relationship with God, consistent relationship, you are in tune with Him, and you're building that life steady, then the area of marriage is not going to be something very different.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to pick on that aspect. So if you can learn to hear God well for your academics, if you can learn to hear God well for business, if you can learn to hear God well for everyday living, then the area of marriage is not going to be something unique or different. Most times we always want God to speak to us, out of the blue, mystical way.
And that's why we get ourselves confused sometimes with so many, especially if you are at that phase of your life where it seems like you have so many suitors and you are in a place where you feel confused. I would suggest and advise not to take any step when you are confused. Just step back of the whole equation and have some time to process what you're feeling, process it spiritually, go to God in prayer. Also get counsel. I get the good counsel. I had people I was accountable to. So when I would have people coming to ask me out like that, I would let them know, and they would counsel me. And I also was aware of who I was and who I was becoming. Because you need to know who you are and who you are becoming, so that you'll be able to make some choices. Already you know the kind of grace God is building in the inside of you, what you like or dislike. So you're able to make some selection. There are certain people that will not even go past a particular level of friendship with you in terms of marriage, because you know that they are not compatible with you, with the vision God has placed in the inside of you. You understand? Bible says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. It's not just talking about people who don't know Christ. It's also talking about people who are not compatible with you,
even
mentally, spiritually, even if you're in the same space, because it's very important. A lot of people just think it's one of those things you can just patch it. But when you get married, the game is different, because you will now begin to confront issues that you've shied away from when you were a single person. So I would advise, singles who are in that phase of so many people around, you're not sure, step back. Don't be in a hurry. There's a difference between speed and rush. So don't be in a hurry. Step back, clear your head, seek counsel, go prayerfully, and then you can engage.
And I think that we need to improve on ourselves on a daily basis. Like somebody said that if you want to go into certain businesses, sometimes you take time to research. You look out for who has been there before you.
Yeah.
You ask advice. How do I go about this business? What do I need to start up? Writing down that when it comes to the area of marriage, how many marriage books have you read?
Yeah.
How
many seminars
have you attended to? How many workshops have you gone for?
I remember we used to go to Fountain of Life.
Fountain of Life on Monday. Yes.
Yeah.
Even there was a particular time we had a conference at National Stadium. Machashimolo, Bozo and Boaz. I remember. So we go for conferences like that just to build your hard knowledge to ensure that you are improving on your person.
Yeah. So even before we got into a relationship, we were so vast in anything relationship matter. So we were able to know people who would fit into your terrain and people who will not. So
we learned a lot about finances. We learned a lot about spiritual
every aspect of life.
So I think you need to improve on yourself.
We're talking about 20, 15 years ago. Wow. It was definitely not WhatsApp.
No WhatsApp.
It was not TikTok.
It
was not Zoom. It was not what again? It was not even
but I think it was at that point, the advent of cyber cafes.
Yeah, we had a lot of cyber cafes.
Cyber cafes were just coming up.
And we mentioned that we had a long distance relationship. So communication, we were very big on communication. So he would go to the cyber cafe, and we would have to chat.
To buy some time.
Yeah. So our emails. Yeah. So emails and cyber cafe. And
then later SMS came in.
So I had SMS. Then I would print the SMS. What do I do? The emails. I write out the SMS. And up to date, I still have all those SMS.
The email.
And I print out emails. Yes, I remember I would read it to myself over and over again. So you don't know when you will get another email, because it was not so common then.
Then with time, as things improve and technology got better, I beg your pardon. I think then we did the Yahoo Messenger.
Yeah, we had Yahoo Messenger. We always had a long distance relationship, but there was a point a year into our courtship, or after we had to have a longer distance relationship. At that time, I had to move to Europe, and he was down in Nigeria. I think so. That was one major thing that happened, and it was a defining moment in our courtship, because I remember I had to send mails to some very known, renowned counselors just to let them know, for advice, that I'm moving out of Nigeria for studies. I'm in a relationship with somebody, and I don't know if it's going to last, what's going to happen. And I remember the reply I got was, "No, break it,"
Yeah, you said break it, but you said no way.
Yeah, so I think
it actually did well, our drive to keep it.
Yeah, to keep the relationship.
To ensure that we make it. It was like, against every odds, we are going to pull this through with the help of God.
With the help of God. So I think about that. Then
what was the visit? I think I remember when we had to travel.
Yes.
You came to Nigeria and we had to travel.
Yes, I came to Nigeria on summer, and he had to perform. He was on leave.
To travel.
I wanted to travel back with me, so it raised a lot of highbrow, because a lot of people knew that we were not married and they are traveling back together. And it really still do stress the need for us, and single people in courtship, to have good accountability, partnership around them. We had such. So when our accountability partners, and our mentors heard that he was going to be coming back with me abroad, he was going to be going to spend his leave, and he wanted to come around, they were really a little bit skeptical about it.
Yeah.
And they were like, their concerns was like, are you sure? You
you
guys are going to be okay.
Cold.
Are you sure you guys will be okay? The bed on the cloud, that kind of thing. I know how people could be. So it actually did put us on our toes because we knew that God will help us. So we can't fail, and we had decided that we were going to actually keep the bed on the cloud, and that was a big deal for us. So having him traveling with us, and to now make things even sweeter, or let's make it worse.
We had to go through London. And we stayed with one of our aunts. And
she happened to have just a two-bedroom apartment. So
they vacated one
of the rooms for us. I know, like one room for yourself.
No, one room for yourself.
Like,
you were like, I remember how you were like on the bed, like.
I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And there was no place, we didn't have the funds then to go get something separate. We had to be with my auntie, and she just had 2 rooms, one room for herself and her husband, and one room for us, and we had to find a way of dealing with it. And all the thought of, and because I was being very conservative and, big on our values, and loving God and not wanting to disappoint Him, even in our secret life. We were very particular. And, it's not coke that runs through your body, it's actually blood. At that time, we were I think we were about 2 years in the courtship or 3 years in the courtship, yeah. And it was a defining moment to decide on what exactly we're going to do. Are we going to, mess up at that time? Because nobody's going to know anything. Clean out and move on, or are we going to do the right thing? And I think I froze, actually.
You froze, actually? She thought probably I was going to jump on her.
And I told her,
I laughed. I remember I laughed at you. The shock in her eyes said, girl, calm down. I'm not going to jump on you. Then I took the pillow, I lied down on the floor, and she took the bed.
And I took the bed, the door was wide open, my heart was beating very fast. I was like, that kind of thing. But somehow God saw the intention of our heart. It wasn't something we state managed. And maybe for some people it's not a big deal, but for us, coming from where we're coming from and knowing where we're going to, we know that we have to do it the right way, and I think that was about all. We had a 5-year courtship.
5-year long
distance courtship. Yeah, I think we can write a book on the long distance courtship. Yeah. Yes, we had 5 years. Today now, looking back, if I had a choice, I wouldn't do 5 years.
It all depends. If you look at what we have that we face today, it's not advisable you have a long
distance. Yeah, it's not
advisable. Courtship or dating.
Yeah.
And mostly because of what people are readily, vices people are readily exposed to today. So it's not advisable.
But sweetheart, I think the vices has always been. The vices has always been.
It has always been. It's in our own time. Let me be more practical. In our own time, you can still see some kind of decorum on the road, not like what we have today.
Okay, yeah, if you say so, yeah.
Then secondly again, in our own time, before anybody have access to anything explicit
in terms of sex,
or probably any nudity on TV and all that, it's something you hardly see. It was censored.
Well, yes, it was censored. I agree.
So exposure readily, even when the last time we were at an eatery, you saw what we saw on TV.
Anyway, I don't think it's not.
It's not advisable today.
It's not advisable.
Long distance, not.
We won't advise it because I feel that it's going to take too long. At the same time, a lot of things will be involved. And why not go when you're actually ready to get married? Than a 5-year courtship that would make you more vulnerable to things you're not supposed to. Yeah. They didn't find out.
I think they were anticipating it.
They were anticipating it. It's just a flow.
Yeah, just a flow. It continued.
So it wasn't like it was
I think it would have been the reverse if it had not happened.
If it had not happened, yeah, because they saw us hearing every time it was coming around, I was going to play to say hello, and we're just good brothers and sisters. Oh, I won't lie. And that kind of. So they saw it coming. So I think it was anticipated. So it was a flow. It's not something they found out. It's something they just got to know.
They knew it
was going to happen. My wedding.
Yeah, we eventually got married on the 6th of September.
Yeah,
2008.
Yeah.
6th of September happens to be Daddy's birthday.
Yeah, that was my daddy's birthday. I remember a month before then we were doing countdown. And that's why it's very important to have a day in view, a date in view, or a period in view when you want to get when you get into a relationship. Don't just date aimlessly.
Yeah.
So we had something in view. We knew that this was going to lead to marriage, and so we were working at it. And so the date was more like Jesus, who for the joy endured the cross.
That was set before him endured the cross.
So our wedding day was glamorous. It was wonderful. It was everything I dreamt about as a little girl, especially walking into the honeymoon. Sorry, not honeymoon. Sorry, the reception hall. It was grand. It was grand. It was beautiful. And people everywhere. My pastors flew in from Romania. It was just awesome, and I could hear God saying, "Yes, you deserve it." That kind of thing.
I remember walking into the reception hall, and it was just beautiful.
Yeah.
All these people were just there to honor us. For me, that was very touching.
Yeah.
It's one aspect that I always remember.
And something that we wish we could do again was our video guys. They messed up our video. It was
a memory.
In fact, they messed up our video. It was noisy, and if we would do this again,
we could probably do the video
again. Yeah.
Just come.
We used to just come, right? Because the video was like, what? And we paid a lot. Far back as then, I think we paid a lot. Yes, almost 300K. Far back 15 years ago, we wanted the best. And it was really, no. And I cried.
For me,
let me talk now. Johnny Mood is for me now.
All right, please go ahead.
Okay, say your own. Say your own now.
All right, for me, it was just the little Jason Bond I had to do. Gang. She wasn't expecting it.
I wasn't expecting the honeymoon.
No,
I wasn't expecting.
No, I mean, she had no idea about the place was. And I just remember it was this beautiful hotel.
Yeah. So walking into the hotel, I entered into the hotel room and I saw roses everywhere. He really tried. Don't worry, when we celebrate our 30th anniversary, if Fred has not come, we'll be talking more about that. But yes, it was wonderful. It was awesome. Yeah. Cut your coat according to your size.
No, according to your cloth.
According to your cloth, yeah. So it's not about how glamorous or expensive your wedding is. It's the quality of your marriage. So I think your emphasis should be more on the marriage than on the exigencies and the expenses of the wedding. So just don't go beyond yourself. I hear people going to borrow money from the bank because they want to do a wedding. I think things are changing now, so be very smart. So that would be my advice.
The world we have today, you just have to make up your mind.
Yeah.
That this is what we're going to put into this wedding. And because you have a whole lifetime of marriage ahead of you.
Yeah.
So why don't you just be wise with the spending, wise with what you want to do with money? What we advise younger couples nowadays is save up some money for the marriage.
Man of God, why? Marriage is a ministry, and I think one of the reasons why our marriage has really lasted or is holding this strong is because we have decided to put God at the center of our marriage. Marriage institution was actually ordained by God, and you can't actually run it smoothly without the one who orchestrated marriage in the first place. So he's a passionate lover of God, and I am a passionate lover of God, and then together we pursue God together, putting Him at the center of our decisions, our choices, and I think
the other aspect is we love each other and we respect one another, and we also seek out to improve on ourselves on a daily basis by seeking knowledge, seeking counsel from the right people, instructors. Even to date, we still listen to different instructors on marriage. Because marriage is a lifetime, so like she says, the ministry, there are different phases to that ministry. There's a time when you become parents, you have a baby, you have a toddler, there are different phases. Tradition.
I think on Christmas Day, my mom will make. My mom makes, well, I think it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
But I think Christmas was always, my mom would make different dishes, and everyone would take time to eat together. Then, most importantly, the family devotion was one thing that we would do religiously, with my parents, and I brought that into our marriage.
Yeah, for us, it's eating together as family.
Okay.
I came from a large family, so eating together on the table, or sometimes when we want to have a treat, like this African, what should I call it? Isiu, goat head. That's what it means, or probably the one we call suya.
So
we buy large quantity, put on a big tray, and everybody just dived in. So for me, these are some of the lovely traditions I also got. What tradition did we start?
Yes, we started.
Let me go first this time around. Okay, the tradition we started traveling together as a family, and on Sundays, especially Sundays, we have our family time.
Our family time, yeah.
Every time we come back from church, we have lunch together, and we choose a movie.
Yes, and we had this chicky we do. Have you forgotten?
Every night,
every
night.
Our kids come around and we do this chicky where they peck us on the cheeks, and we peck them on the cheeks, and they go. So we do it every night. It's called chicky. So that's our chicky.
That's our chicky.
That's good. Very good.
So for couples to handle finances, I believe that we all should have some degree of financial freedom, and there's a level of understanding in place. So whoever has the better capacity to handle should be allowed to take the lead in this place. So if she's a better manager, then I should be able to forget about egos this time around, because now remember, marriage is a teamwork. We are working together with one goal, with one purpose, And for us, we've agreed that there's nothing like my money is my money, your money is your money, or my money is our money, your money is no. Yeah. Because we love God and we've placed God as center, so we've equally said that in our finances, everything comes to the table. Unless we have a common project, then we have an account for common projects. Yeah. She has her own personal account, I have my own personal account. Everything I make, she knows about it, and everything she makes, I knows about it. So it all depends. It should be something that we should be liberal.
And it could work differently for other couples. I think the bottom line is you do what works best for your family. There is no strict approach that it has to be this way.
Yeah.
Okay, if you decide to have a different account and you want to spend together, fine. If you want to have a joint account and everybody spend together, fine. So just know what works for you. As long as there is peace, there's understanding, go for it. So we've been over the years been able to design what works best for us, and then and it's working. Well, it's still the same way we handled the financial issue, the strength versus capacity. I know that we are from, the African culture that, kind of depicts that some certain roles should be more of the female, then some certain roles should be more of the male. But looking at it in a biblical form of view, thank God that the Bible never gave us a code of conduct that these roles should be for the woman and this role should be for the man. I believe in mutual understanding and agreements as to what, because there are some certain seasons of your marriage where the woman might not be in the place to do some certain chores that are traditional in quote and unquote. For example, she's pregnant or she's doing a very busy 9 to 5 and you happen to have a flexible schedule. You would have to dive in if you don't want your wife to die young. At the same time, there are certain roles that are not necessarily male gender that you can also engineer. So it's all about understanding. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, all about understanding and knowing how to play into each other's strengths, So, take for example, if she's not physically available, I can go into the kitchen and cook, tidy up the house, make everything look good. She comes back and we enjoy the evening together. And whenever I'm not around, she's swinging immediately, takes up the masculine task as well.
Yeah, that's a very good question actually, because when there are no boundaries, it opens the door for third party and it opens the door for all sorts of things to come in. And marriage is supposed to be exclusively you, your partner, and God. So that's why boundaries are very important. I think we've set up an emotional boundary, being that we shouldn't be talking to people about things that are really personal to us without talking to each other first. You understand? So I shouldn't be sharing deep secrets with a member of the opposite sex when my husband does not know. I shouldn't even, so those are emotional boundaries. Yes, because that's when you begin to have emotional affairs, and before you know it, it becomes something you can't control. So I think that having an emotional boundary is important, be each other's friends, and I think that's what has really kept us, rock solid. Yeah, there's nothing I can't tell him, and there's nothing he can't tell me.
And also the friends you keep,
Yeah.
It's important that we know our friends,
we know our friends.
The kind of friends we keep.
Yeah.
There's nothing about our life that's not open, and we believe that is key. But first and foremost, emotional boundary is key. There are certain hours of the night we don't call, even the opposite sex, even if they are known people. Some boundaries like that to just help guide us to ensure that we are not making ourselves unnecessarily available to the opposite.
Yeah. The opposite sex. Yeah. Yeah, praying together.
Yeah.
Very important. Studying the word together. Spend time together. Yeah. Very important. Especially when couples are really busy. Like we are busy couples. Our schedule is quite crazy. So we have to find time to spend time together.
We also create activities together. Mutual activities together, yeah. And there are times that we have our me time. Us time. And
then
I think me time too. Individual time, because we are first individual whole. So sometimes we just need to take a break to help each other.
Yeah.
So sometimes we make decisions such that I spend time with the children alone, so she can have her me time. Then there are sometimes they all allow me be, so they can have I can have my me time, and she spend time with the children. So there's need for balance, and we also all go out together as a family to have a recreational time.
We read books together.
And we grow together.
We listen to sermons together. And if maybe he listens to a sermon, he thinks it's very interesting and very powerful, it makes me listen to a movie, a documentary, a book, anything to just make sure that
our life.
Yeah, to improve and make sure that we keep sharing and growing
together.
Okay, I don't know where to start from. The truth of the matter is that I admire and big respect to couples who say they've been married for donkey years and they've never had any issue. Big shout out to you guys. I don't know how you are doing it or you did it, because I believe that the fact that both of you are coming from different backgrounds and you're trying to fuse into one would call for some kind of friction.
Yeah.
And I think the emotional maturity of the both parties will come to play to see how that friction is solved so that it's not escalating. But if you see that, you know, you are coming together and there's no friction, then somebody is not being, you know, that's my own personal opinion. Somebody might not be, you know, might be authentic or be real. Somebody's actually pretending. And my point is that for the fact that we came from two different backgrounds, of course we had our fair share of, you know, issues we had to sort out. But thankfully to God, you know, with the emotional maturity and, you know, dying to the flesh, because you cannot actually have a successful marriage if you are not selfless and you don't die to flesh, because flesh will want some certain things. So if I am answering this question again, so
yeah, so for us then, I remember it's how to sort out our differences when we have issues.
Yes, how can I forget? I do, you know, normally when I get when he offends me when we just started, you know, in our marriage, I had a cocoon where I would run into. I had a shell. I would run into that shell, and I would be in that shell. I could be in that shell for a very long time. When I mean shell, I'm not talking about physical shell. I mean I will withdraw, because I am kind of very sensitive. So I will withdraw, and I could be in that mood for a very long time. So I think initially when we got married, that used to be a problem, because I would not come out. I would just be quiet. What's wrong with you?
Monosyllable answers.
Nothing. You know, I couldn't help it. You know,
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Don't judge me, guys. Some of you are like that. But you know, you can't be in that place for a long time, especially if you're working with the Holy Spirit. You have to submit. So I think over the years I've grown to really take it sorry for yes, sorry. Because sometimes if you say sorry, I'm like, sorry, just like that. What am I doing with your sorry? Sorry is not enough. You know, and it really will mean the sorry. So I've learned to, you know,
to accept apologies.
The apologies. Yes, I'm going to come out of my cocoon.
Ability to, you know, ability to let things go.
To let things go.
You know, so that we can always move on. So sorting out our conflict has been one major challenge, but we are far better.
My husband can say sorry for Africa. He can say sorry every minute.
You know, like I always say that sometimes saying that sorry does not necessarily mean that the person saying the sorry is wrong.
Yeah.
But for you to allow peace and for both parties to move on.
Yeah.
Somebody just has to bury the ego sometimes. Sometimes very painful. Sometimes all good, but you know, it's yielding the result.
I've learned to say sorry as well.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, I've learned. It didn't used to be that easy to say sorry. So I would so much, you know, package myself so that I wouldn't have to get to the point where I'm saying sorry. You understand that kind of thing? It's not, So I always try to conduct myself in a way that I wouldn't have to say sorry. So for me to say sorry, it means I've done something really bad. But I learned now that you don't really necessarily have to say sorry because you're wrong. You know, you say sorry if it's going to bring peace. Say sorry because you love your partner. So say sorry. You know? Sorry. Just sorry.
For how over the years it was finding the process. Sorry. For me, it was when I'm upset, I just keep it to myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what was doing a whole lot of harm. You know, eventually, over time, it's going to pile up. Then one day, I just explode. Over little issues, I exploded, and I was wondering that why is this coming from? You know, so it took time for me to also realize that when there are issues and you don't open up to discuss them right there and there, you're only sweeping them under the carpet, and eventually it's going to come back to hurt everyone all around.
Yeah.
Especially, it might just be one little issue, and you start making references to the past.
Yeah, I've never really done well in keeping things under the carpet. I always like to sort things out because I believe that if you don't amicably resolve an issue, that issue has not gone away. And there are sometimes you may not have to resolve the issue immediately. You might give it some time, you know, and go back to the issue. But the bottom line remains that issue still needs to be addressed, not ignored, not suppressed, not forgotten, not swept under the carpet.
The place of communication is if at that point in time both parties are not ready, there should be enough communication to say, see, I know there's an issue on the ground, but right now, because the way I'm feeling, we can address it well, and we don't want this matter to escalate or get aggravated. we'll come back to this, okay? This is not sweeping it under the carpet, but we'll come back to address it. I'm only giving you clues of how much I have improved on my own aspects. And it's key that we seek counsel during our challenges. We've exposed ourselves to knowledge, to people who are better experienced and has really worked up.
Yes, and God has really been faithful. We've not had any cause for any third party to come in between us to separate issues. And I'm not saying that people who have had cases where they needed a third party are failing in their marriage. That's not what I'm trying to say. Everyone is different.
We are just graced at different
levels. But that's where we are in our journey so far, and we've been able to somehow resolve it. And the Holy Spirit has been our greatest teacher, our senior partner in this. So it's been.
We keep using ourselves to Him. One thing I could change about my spouse.
Give it.
Make life much easier.
Am I so tough like that?
Sometimes you can be uptight.
I know. I can be uptight. It's a training. It's a medical
training. Just learn to relax.
As a doctor, you cannot be relaxed. People's lives are at stake. So I'm always.
But there are times when you just need to be yourself, relax, just let those walk, rest, leave the book, and just spend time,
Yeah, I know.
Just relax.
I'm working on it actually. Sometimes when I sit down and like so many things, especially when you're a visionary and you're thinking of so many things at the same time, it can be tough. But we are still in a journey.
So what aspect of you?
My husband is. He takes things so calmly. When there are things there, and I know I'm a planner. I can plan like ahead. He also plans, but it's kind of very. He takes this too easy. He's so calm. Sometimes I want to be like him. Sometimes, no matter how tough things are, he's able to sleep and hold his calm. And I'm not saying I would want to change that aspect, but sometimes I just, Anyways, I think that's where strength complements the weakness and vice versa.
One aspect about our love to keep, she's very resilient. Once she makes up her mind to achieve certain goals, she doesn't back down. She goes ahead and she's not going to quit until she gets that desired results. That's one. Secondly, again, she's sensitive to people all around her, sensitive to environment, and she has this large heart, full of love for people. My wife can do the extra mile. I mean, the extra mile. And I'm like, woman, you're not Jesus, you're not less than Jesus. But I've come to learn over time that's who she is. That aspect, I'm not going to change.
He's a very kind man. He's a very passionate man. He's a lover of people. He's a lover of God. He's very cheerful. He's very calm. He's very matured. I don't know. I can go on and on and on. My husband is a good man. He's a godly man. He's a sweet man. He has allowed me, blossom. He gives me the freedom, to be who God has called me to be. He's very secured in his own skin, and that's one thing I love about him.
The best compliment ever. I can't really pinpoint. There are quite a lot. She has said, and that I believe so much in her, and that I've given her room to blossom. I've given her wings to fly. For me, that's a solid one, because it aligns with one of my desired purpose in life, to ensure that we help people get to where God has called them to be. So.
Okay, what's the question again? The best compliment you've ever given to me? My husband is my cheerleader, and he tells me he believes in me, and I think that's enough for me. He tells me, I believe in you, you can do it, and every time he says that to me, I feel like I can just stick on the word.
gist a lot of gist. Work gist, house gist, every gist, any gist. Political, mentioning sports, whatever the gist is.
Whatever is gist.
My number one gist partner.
As in gist partner.
She's the one.
We gist a lot. I think it makes the communication makes us bond a lot. So there are no hidden secrets. So yeah, we kind of we're able to really flow.
Even if I'm in pain or in trouble, but okay.
Yeah, so I think it makes us bond a lot, and we pray together. We share God's word together. And our ministry bonds us together as well. We love youths, we love young people, we love our people, and I think doing that together, serving God together also makes us bond. There's always something to talk about. Our parenting journey has been very intentional. We know that because God has helped us to really be a blessing to a lot of young people, and we get to hear a lot of stories, backlash of irresponsible parenting, and that's one prayer we always pray, that God help us to do our best. We've kind of evolved over the years from having very little children in preschool down to primary school, and now I think teenagers and preteens. So it's been a wonderful journey of learning. We can't parent the way we used to, or how our parents used to parent those days. Things have changed a lot, So we're learning to, go with the flow, at the same time maintaining, the boundaries as it concerns our faith. Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he won't depart from it. So yes, growing in the Lord and raising our kids, in that light has been. So I'm getting to, understand the teenage brain. I talk about it, cancel parent, now I am on it, and it's been phenomenal.
It's different.
It's different
when you experience it.
Yes.
Than when you teach it.
When you teach it.
But it gets better when you've experienced it. You can readily teach it.
Yeah, when you can readily teach it.
It's been a great journey. I came from a polygamous family, and growing up with so many siblings, having little or no attention of your dad growing up, and as to right now where I am, you have to now solely give that attention to each of the child. It's been an amazing journey, and I love it all the way.
Yeah, and I think this is why people before they get married should decide on how many kids they want to have. Don't just go into marriage with clueless, because parenting is intentional, and those kids you're going to give account of them. So I think for us, it's been still in the journey of learning, unlearning and relearning.
Definition of a successful marriage: a place where peace, you have peace in and out, a place you can always come back home. You can call home, in that sense, where there is tranquility, peace, rest of mind. A place where you have transparency, a place where you can be innovative, a place where you can dare to be yourself.
Yeah, and I think it's a place where both parties are growing in fulfillment of their calling.
Of their purpose
of their purpose in life. That would be my definition of successful marriage. Yeah.
And that cannot be outside God.
Yeah.
The foundation of a successful marriage is God. And he has to go in that. There's this analogy I always use, and I'll say it again with my wife. At the other hand, like a triangle, and God is the one at the center of it. At the other end of the triangle is you and your spouse. The moment you guys get closer to God, you are growing. The distance here narrows down. So it's key and important that you must always base it first and foremost on God, and continue to grow in God, and also improve on one another. You grow together in every sphere of life. So for me, that is how to build a successful marriage.
Okay, my advice to singles would be, first of all, have a relationship with God. Have a relationship with yourself. Know yourself. Have a relationship with other people. So the three sphere of relationship, has to be, intentional. Yeah. So have a relationship with God. That relationship with God will help you understand who you are, get to know who you are, understand your personality, what you are made of, what you like, what you don't like. Then of course, and your strengths and your weakness. And of course, get to have good relationship with other people, because you would marry from your pool of friendship. It's always good to marry your friend. So yes. Yeah. So your relationship around has to be, has to be proved. It has to be very audited, has to be intentional. Don't just go around with people, who you have no intentions of making friends with. Show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. Evil communication corrupts good manners.
And for those who are also married, young couple, I would say this, like one of my instructors said that the sanctity of marriage is more important to God. So you should always ensure that this marriage is something that we all will be accountable to God on how we did it, and the society at large also depend on you to do it right. If you get it right in the place of marriage, it settles every other aspect of our lives.
Yes, and I also think also for young couples that you have to know that marriage is a teamwork.
Yeah.
It's like having a private company and you are out there to make profits. You cannot afford to fail. Your marriage is like a company. It has to work.
It has to work.
You can't
all
afford
hands
to
on
fail. All
deck.
hands on deck.
It has to work.
It has to work. So
no other alternative.
And every member of the team is important. So you have to work. You have to play by the rules and make sure that God is in the center of it all. Seek counsel when you have to. Don't die in silence.
Don't die in silence.
Don't die in silence. Don't say, oh, we don't want third party and you are dying. You understand? Reach out for help. Seek counsel. My people perish for lack of knowledge. So seek counsel if you have to. There are people around God must have, and God will bless you with around you. Look out for them, and if you're having issues, then pray together, grow together. And whatever the situation is, you can actually overcome them.
Yeah.
Some things are expected in marriage. When you get married, there are some certain teething issues that would happen. So don't think it's an attack or something. Know that there are teething issues that you have to overcome to the next level. Yes, and it's a journey. It's not going to be. It's not going to start, smoothly for some people. You may have to go to some building, twists and turns, until. But don't give up.
All right, don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Our last partner, it's been 15 years.
If I had an opportunity to do this again, make no mistake, it's still gonna be you. So watch out for the next decade.
Yes, I think they'll say the same thing too. Thank you for the last 15 years. I really look forward to more years together. And it's been a privilege sharing this with you. There's still so much to say, but don't worry. We keep unleashing it with time. And thank you so much, sweetheart. God bless you. I love you so much. Then nobody should come inside. Nobody. When we are ready for you, we'll call you. Get his courses. When the spirit is down, when the spirit is upon me. Okay, are we ready? Are we ready? Okay. Sorry.